Hello and welcome to 𝐿𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐿 Nations League match day 4. Some of you were asking where were we if we are going to analyze this new match day. We missed some games on Sunday, but we are here because we have some good games. For instance, we have Netherlands-Germany or Germany-Netherlands, and also we have Spain-Serbia to analyze with Alvaro, Romeo. Hello, Alvaro, and with Ronan. I hope you are good. Both of you are happy because Ireland, Spain were winning in this Nations League. So I hope you guys also enjoyed our previous show. And don't forget, if you enjoy the shows, press the like, subscribe, and now let's go on with the show. We are going to analyze 4 games on Monday, 4 games on Tuesday, and we are going to start in Tbilisi, Georgia. Albania is our first game. This is in League B, Group 1, and this one is a funny group because we have Georgia, Czech Republic with 6 points, Albania and Ukraine with 3 points. Georgia lost their first game against Ukraine because in the previous break they were able to beat Czech Republic and also Albania away 1-0. That's why probably it catches our eye, Ronan. Georgia to win 2.0 could not be a bad odds. Also, they are strong lately playing at home.
Yeah, they are. They're a good side at home. It's obviously a difficult place to travel to. It's far for a lot of European countries, maybe not as far if you're in Albania compared to Ireland, but I know all about Ireland going to Tbilisi and finding it difficult to get results there. It was always kind of a dogged, cagey match for Irish teams anyway, but Albania could struggle to get much from this game themselves. Georgia, like you said, in Tbilisi, they're very good. They're unbeaten in their last 8 home games, so they have a very good home kind of form going into this match. And Albania, they're not great themselves at keeping goals out. They haven't kept a clean sheet in 7 games. So this is the one where Georgia should look to capitalise, pick up another win. That will take them to 9 points and within a great chance of getting into the higher league, which wouldn't be a complete shock of anyone who watched them during the Euros. Kind of was impressed with how Georgia performed there. Obviously, they have huge names in the team, in the squad. We all know about 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜𝐭𝐜𝐿, 𝐜𝐴CCA, and they've both been on the score sheet already in the campaign, so they can cause problems here. So I think this could be a match where Georgia will pick up another win. The odds of 2 that you're seeing are 2.01 that you're seeing on the screen look very good. I think this is another match where Albania could struggle. They haven't really created chances in a lot of the games. They've only had XG of 0.33 the first time they played Georgia. They was even lower in the game against Czech Republic. And even in the match they won, the 2-1 win over Ukraine, they didn't even create one full XG in that match either. So they aren't a team that creates lots of chances. They aren't a team that scores lots of goals. They had no shots on target in the other match earlier in this group. So I don't think they're going to do too much here. I think Georgia draw no bet could be an option here at 1.41. Correct score 1-0. I don't see this one being a barn burner. Unfortunately, that's 6.5. But I'm going for this one. I'm going for total goals under 2.25 at 1.93.
Not a thriller. We can see that Georgia is better when they don't have the control of the game and they counter-attack. Would you go also for something similar, Alvaro? Or also, do you like also Georgia to win?
I like Georgia to win, yeah. I think I'm going to back that. Georgia to win, 195 in the region of 2. Sounds like right to me. Otherwise, you can decaf that a little bit with an Asian handicap minus 0.25. Let's start by saying that this is a really good group on paper to be Group B at the end of the day. All the participants took part in the Euros, as far as I remember. Georgia, the Czech Republic, Albania, and Ukraine. And Georgia is topping it. And the truth is that they are carrying some of the very good form that they showed in summer. It's true that in the last game they ended up losing to Ukraine, but all in all, I think that Georgia can be proud of what they have achieved in 2024. Their last defeat at home, by the way, was against Spain, but over the last couple of years, the likes of Scotland or Greece or the Czech Republic, I mean, teams that are more or less their level, they didn't win here. Georgia qualified for the Euros, let's don't forget, by getting a draw against Greece and then winning in a penalty shootout. So Georgia lately has been quite reliable at home, so that's why I kind of back them. I think that Georgia to win or based on handicap minus 0.25 for them would be good. And then if you check the historic record, I mean, Georgia has won in Albania, but Albania has never beaten Georgia in Georgian soil. So if you think that the statistics and historical statistics have a say in the preview of the game, you have to keep that in mind as well. Albania has never beaten Georgia here. So Georgia to win 195.
Okay, and in this group, a very tight group to get promoted to League A, we also have Czech Republic playing away against Ukraine. Actually, also Ukraine play away, as we all know. Ukraine finally won a football game after a poor Euros. Mudryk was the goal scorer in the win against Georgia. We are not very impressed about the Czechs recently, Alvaro, but well, finally they also won a game. Chori was the goal scorer, scoring a brace in the last game.
Scoring a brace, yeah, the footballer that played well for Victoria Pilsenia last season, and that's why he earned a place in Slavia Prague. But I think that Ukraine can be a slightly favorite here. I'm going to go for a draw, no bet for Ukraine. They are the home side, even though they are not playing at home. But on top of that, I really think that they are better than the Czech Republic. I mean, the Czech Republic, every time I see them, I think that they are pretty rigid. I think that they've got this very big tendency to send the ball to the flanks and produce a lot of pointless crosses that get blocked. And this is the way they do and their way forward. And I think that they have been a little bit prehistoric in their approach to football, with all due respect to a very important footballing nation, in my opinion, especially in European terms. But Ukraine are playing at home. I think they've got better players, a little bit more of firepower. And I do know that in the Euros, Ukraine was a little bit disappointing, even though there were a few games in which they were better than the result suggests, like in the game against Belgium. But, I'm going to back them with a draw no bet for Ukraine, 188. I like this one. And then just a quick word on 𝐬𝐿 Mudryk, the Chelsea footballer. I mean, his goal against Georgia the other day was basically 𝐬𝐿 Mudryk in a nutshell. He miscontrolled the ball, then he fights for it, something that 𝐿𝐿 has made a career from, losing the ball and getting it back again. And then he scored from outside the box. I mean, 𝐬𝐿 Mudryk is a box of surprises. He can be very good on his day, but very bad and sloppy on a bad day. But he scored the other day, and he was about to score a brace, hadn't it been for Mamardashvili doing a terrific save from one of his shots. But yeah, I think Ukraine has more vivacity, is more vibrant, and they've got more dynamic players, so I'm going to back them.
Okay, this game is going to be played in Wrocław in Poland with a Spanish referee, by the way. Alvaro, Ronan, how do you see this one? It's super difficult in my opinion. We saw also this game in the Nations League recently, and the Czech Republic won 3-2. And in 2018, also we saw it in the Nations League, and in this case, when Ukraine was playing at home, even when they play away, they won both games.
Yeah, I think it is a difficult one to predict, and obviously because, like you said, Ukraine don't play at home anymore, so it's not really a true home advantage. They're playing in Poland and in Wrocław, and the last time they played there was the 2-1 win over Iceland to get to the Euros to qualify in the playoffs. So this stadium does have a good history for Ukraine, but yeah, it's not the same as playing at home. So Czech Republic will be hopeful that they can take something from this one. They did obviously in the game in Prague. It was a high scoring match. They were able to get goals. Both teams were plenty entertaining in that first game. So I'm hoping maybe this one will be another match that has plenty of goals. I'm not kind of fully sold on Ukraine being able to take the victory. So I'm not going to risk putting anything on either team when winning this match, because it will be a tight game, and that's kind of what we've seen so far in this group, because every team can kind of beat every other team, and most of these teams are just kind of coming off their first win, so they'll both be going into this one on a high, but someone has to come away disappointed, and I'm not sure who it's going to be, unfortunately. So I think this one will be a match where there's goals like we've seen in the past, in this same group. So total goals over 2.5, I like the look of here, 2.11. But even maybe a bit safer than that is total first half goals over 1. I had a look at the odds, and I think the odds of 2.04 for that look pretty good, because there should be a goal in the first half. There should be goals for both teams. There should be goals here in this one. So my overall tip for this one is both teams score yes. That's 1.81.
Okay, let's jump into League A. We are going to analyze an interesting game, Belgium, France. This is a funny game because also we have Italy, Israel. Italy top of the group, Israel 0 points, and Belgium and France probably fighting for the second spot. Belgium came out alive from Italy because they were losing 2-0, but they took advantage of Italy going down to 10 men and got a draw. We saw this game in France in Marseille in the previous break, and France won, as I remember Alvaro predicted, but Belgium had some chances, actually. So perhaps we see again plenty of goals as we saw in the France-Israel. I remember also our friend Alain Valnegri going for both teams to score, and indeed France conceded a goal against Israel, Ronan.
Yeah, they did, but this France team looks a bit different from the France team that we saw at the Euros that couldn't score at all at the Euros. They weren't really able to score. When they played at the Euros, these two teams, it was an own goal that separated the sides in the round of 16. Vertonghen put the ball in his own net as France couldn't score from open play. So this France team, since the Euros, have been kind of revitalized. They seem to be getting goals from various players, the younger players. Mbappe, as we all know, isn't there. He's busy partying in Stockholm or Copenhagen or something. He
Stockholm.
had a Stockholm,
No?
yeah. he had a busy weekend for himself. He is not with the team. A story came out that he wants to win the Ballon d'Or, and because of that, he doesn't want to focus on the poor matches like games against Luxembourg for France. So we'll see how that one goes for him and whether that works out. But that could play into the strengths of some of the other French forwards, because 𝐬𝐭𝐴 is getting a chance to play in the French team. He's playing very well for Bayern Munich, as I well know, and as I talk about in the Bundesliga video. So I'm very excited to see the France front three, Barcola, Muani, 𝐬𝐭𝐴, and then the Belgian front three, they themselves look like they could be tricky enough here as well. Trossard, Openda and Doku. But the only thing when you talk about Doku is you have to look at the age of the fullback he's up against. That's what they like to talk about on Twitter. So I had a look, and Theo Hernandez 27 and 𝐬𝐭𝐴 25. So whichever side he's playing on, he has no chance here. He needs a fullback like Robbie Brady for Ireland, someone who's in their mid-30s is what Doku needs. So I think France should be confident that they can take full points here. Belgium, if it wasn't for that red card, they could have easily been demolished by Italy. They were much the worst team for the entire first half, and it was only the red card that gave them any chance of getting back into the game. So I think this Belgium team is on the decline. It doesn't really look like the Belgium teams of the past, whereas France have started to rebuild and regroup after a disappointing Euros. And I think they can look to the future. And one player that they can look to was Bradley Barcola, because he has 2 goals already in this campaign. He's France's top scorer in the campaign. I like the look of him as an anytime goal scorer. 4.5 looks good, because he's been very good for PSG as well this season. So if he can continue that for France, it looks good option for him to score. France have scored in the first half hour of every game so far in this group. So France to win the first half also looks good for me. That's 3.2, but it's hard to look past the France win. The odds are too good for me for that.
Yeah, both teams to score. Prasadas is telling us, we know, Alvaro, that you are not a big fan of this Belgian team.
No, not at all. Look, and FIFA rankings also tell something. I couldn't care less about FIFA rankings, okay? So let's establish that from the very beginning. I couldn't care less. But Belgium was the first one in the FIFA rankings in 2021. And now, gradually, they dropped to 6th. And that's also a reflection of the results over the last 3.5 years. During the Euros, they were disjointed. The manager, Domenico Tedesco, didn't have a clue, really, playing some key footballers out of position. And, even probably he's a little bit of a victim of the decline and disappearance of this golden generation. This Belgium right now has good players, not as good as the previous generation, and a manager who is very unprepared for this. So it's not very promising, in my opinion. But they've got quality. They still have quality, and they can get a good win on a good night. I mean, I have no doubt about that. But against Italy, they were losing 2-0 until Lorenzo Pellegrini was sent off, as Ronan explained. And, then you have to praise that they scored a couple of goals from set pieces. The first one by the 𝐬𝐭𝐴, by the way, was a very good goal, very creative. So, in the same way that I criticize Domenico Tedesco, I have to give him this. I mean, one of the set pieces that he plotted in the board, I mean, the blackboard or whatever it's called, was very good. But still, I think that France is better. And maybe the best thing about France is that, number one, the defense is really good, name by name. And not only that, their numbers are there, despite conceding 1 goal against Israel. I mean, Saliba, Konaté, Koundé, and Theo Hernandez are rocky, are strong, are quick, are powerful. I love that defense, to the point that sometimes France to win, especially at home, can be a very good bet. Not here, though. I will go for something else. Like a draw no bet for France. It pays 174. I like it. I think it's good enough. And maybe the best thing about France in this Nations League, in this end of the year 2024, is that a few players are turning up and they are very dynamic. And France lacked during the Euros a little bit of dynamism. But 𝐿𝐭𝐴 had a good start of the season. He's fast. He moves very well between the lines because he's not a proper number 9. And everything changed for him in an evening at Bournemouth when he scored that goal. And ever since, he's been flourishing. Matteo Guendouzi, I mean, his move to Lazio was a clever one because he changed his career. I'm not a massive fan of him, but he's dynamic, and that is something that France can do with. Maybe it's time to stop using Rabiot and start using Guendouzi more. He's 25 and he looks at his prime right now. Again, I'm not a big fan, but he's delivering for France. And also Bradley Barcola, as Ronan said. I mean, he is one of those wingers that is going to be, playing top football for the next 10 years, and rightly so. So I'm going to go for a draw no bet for France, 174. Let's not forget that France won 2-0 the reverse fixture in September, and true, Belgium had some chances, but France had 25 attempts and Belgium 9. So France was better, and I think that they can be better again.
Well, also good to see 𝐿𝐭𝐴 scoring after missing the first part of the season due to an injury. Everything around Mbappé missing this break and still partying in Stockholm. The press, some supporters are not liking this, but time to rest for the French star. Let's see if their team are able to win in a difficult pitch, always to go to Belgium. And the highlight probably is Germany, Netherlands. This is Group 3. Here we have Germany 7 points, Netherlands 5. Probably these two teams will qualify because now the two first teams qualify for the next round. So probably even the draw would be enough for Germany, a team that was able to beat Bosnia with Undav still scoring. The striker of Stuttgart is scoring plenty both in the Bundesliga and with the national team. And Alvaro, 1 month ago only, we saw the reverse fixture with a lot of goals, very entertaining with Netherlands. All 3 games were both teams to score. Now they don't have Virgil van Dijk because he was sent off. So I guess we should see goals here, hopefully.
Completely. You read my mind. I'm going to go for over 3 goals, 188. Look, the last game in September was too old. Germany has scored 9 goals in 3 games, and the Netherlands have scored 8 goals in 3 games. I think that, it's not a given. You never know, but it's inevitable for me to look at the goals market and to to see the opportunity there. So over 3 goals will be my bet. Yeah, if I trust anyone to win, it would be Germany a bit more, but I'm more than happy to go for the goals market, even though Germany to win 184 pays very similarly to over 3 goals. I think that Germany is still in a little bit of a transition. In a very clever way, I think they are using this Nations League to give chances to new players. And I know that, for example, 𝐬𝐭𝐴 is not new in Germany, but 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐽 had only 5 caps for the German national side. Nubel, first cap the other day, obviously because Ter Stegen is out with an injury. Kleindienst, 1 cap for him the other day. New faces, new players, a very good team. Florian Wirtz still moving in between the lines fantastically. The other day, the move he did to assist 𝐬𝐴 in the first goal of Germany was terrific. And Germany found the net a few times, but a few goals were ruled out for offside. I mean, Germany could have won by a bigger margin against Bosnia and Herzegovina. By the way, 67 goals for Edin Dzeko, for his nation. That is quite an achievement, considering he plays for Bosnia and Herzegovina. But anyway, moving on to the Netherlands, yes, not having Virgil van Dijk is a little bit of a blow, and that persuades me even more to chase the goals market. So I'm going to go for that. Over 3 goals, 188.
This game in the Allianz Arena, Ronan, how do you see it?
Yeah, I think the same as Alvaro. I think a weakened defence for the Netherlands could be a big problem for them because Van Dijk is missing. So De Ligt of Man United will come in, and he hasn't exactly been groundbreaking defender since his move there. He wasn't really shining at Bayern Munich. He's been let go by a couple of big clubs already, so he needs to kind of rebuild his career, but it's not happened so far at Manchester United. As well as that, Mickey van de Ven might start at left back for them because they have plenty of defensive injuries. So this defence is not the first choice Netherlands defence, and that could provide chances for Germany to get more goals. And I was disappointed in that Germany win over Bosnia that one of 𝐬𝐴's goals was ruled out because he would have had a hat-trick. It would have been a stellar stat for him because Germany, like we regularly said, they're always calling out for a number 9, but maybe he can be that player. I know he's playing in kind of a front 2 with Tim Kleindienst so far, but it seems to be working very well, and I like the look of this Germany team, and Julian Nagelsmann is trying to move on past Toni Kroos. So he said he would play a double 6, 2 defensive midfielders in this one with Pavlovic and Angelo Stiller in midfield, and that could be impossible to break down for the Netherlands. It could be tough for them to get through because Pavlovic is seen as the successor to Toni Kroos at Bayern Munich and with Germany, and he is a player that is great defensively, but he's even better at spreading the ball around and getting it into good positions. And this Julian Nagelsmann team is really building towards the World Cup, and this could be a statement win for them. They were unable to win in Amsterdam, but if they were able to win and win big here, and they can because Netherlands defence isn't at its strongest, I think this could be a great chance for them and a great chance for Nagelsmann, and it should be another chance for Dennis 𝐬𝐴 to add to his goal tally. So I like the look of him as anytime scorer at 2.55. He's the top scorer in Nations League A. He's joint up with Cristiano Ronaldo, so he can move ahead of him if he can get a goal in this one. So I'm hopeful he can get another goal here, but it's hard for me to look past Germany win. The odds just look too good for them. It should be a high-scoring match, like Alvaro said, but I think Germany have enough about them to win, especially with Netherlands' problems at the back.
Okay, you are not predicting over 6.5 goals, right, Ronan, as Pasado is telling us? Almost.
Not in this one. If it Bayern Munich matches, I tend to predict over 6.5 goals, but maybe not in this one. It could be a 3-2 for your over 4.5 goals, maybe.
Also worth checking the corner markets, as 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜 is telling us. If we are going to see offensive football, perhaps we see plenty of corners. This is in Germany, so hopefully we see plenty of goals in this Germany-Netherlands. Let's go to the games we have on Tuesday. First one is Poland-Croatia. This is League A, Group 1. Here, Croatia with 6 points, Poland with 3. So basically, if Croatia wins, this is over in this group, with Poland losing to Portugal at home in the last game. Croatia, as we always say, the master of the tight margins, Ronan, able to beat Scotland, able to beat Poland, always with a really small margin. In the case of Scotland, even coming back, conceding the first goal.
Yeah, they did well to come back, but we've seen that too often from the Scotland team. And Croatia they just have too much about them, even though this is an aging team and there's a lot of kind of players at the end of the golden generation. 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 was the player who scored in the reverse fixture last month, and as Croatia won 1-0 against Poland. But Croatia just are kind of grinding out close matches and close wins, and that's put them in a great position in this group. And they could put themselves in an even greater position with a win here, and that would relegate, or well, put Poland into relegation playoff kind of positions. And Poland have always been in League A and Nations League, so they haven't been kicked out of it yet. But I think with Lewandowski coming to the end of his international career too, this might be the kind of end of Poland being considered one of the top tier of European countries, or at least maybe the second behind the giants, up there with the Switzerlands or the Croatias. This could be the end of Poland as being a team that we think that can do well and get results off people. So it could be this could be the decline of Poland, and they really need to get something here, but they haven't looked in recently like they can get something against anybody. They've scored 1 or fewer goals in 5 of their last 6 international games, which is kind of shocking for a team that we're used to hearing being a team that scores lots of goals, obviously because of Lewandowski, but they just don't tend to score goals anymore. And Croatia, on the other hand, they've scored in each of their last 5 internationals. So I think this could be a match where Croatia can pick up another close win, and you wouldn't be surprised if it was a 1-0 win, because I don't think this one is going to be a huge scoring game, because neither team seems to score a lot at the moment. Croatia will be boosted by 𝐜𝐭𝐴 coming back. He missed the game at the weekend because his wife had a baby, so he'll be back after that. So that might kind of ease some of the pressure on Modric, because Modric is 39 now, so it's a lot for him to take on in any international match. So yeah, this one I don't think it's going to be a huge scoring match. Unfortunately, I haven't predicted over 6.5 goals here. So both teams to score, no. I like to look up at 2. I also think that Croatia draw no bet, that came up on the screen there, 1.6 looks like another good option. I think that could be a good one, because I can't see Poland doing much at all in this one. So total goals under 2.5, 2.25 is what I'm going for here. I just don't think it's going to be a high score match.
Not a thriller. We saw Matanovic as a number 9 in the last game against Scotland for the Croats. 1-0 for William. Croatia to win. Alvaro, what do you think?
I'm going to follow up with what Ronan said at the end. Draw no bet for Croatia, 160. I like it. I'm more than happy to do a small top up for an Asian handicap minus 0.25 for Croatia, 189. It's almost like a win, and I think that Croatia can do it. I mean, I know that Croatia are the masters of the tight margins and all that, but Poland hasn't won at home yet. Then Croatia showed the resilience and the competitiveness that we all associate them with when they beat Scotland. Let's not forget that the Scots scored the first goal against Croatia at Croatia, and Croatia replied, just hit back after 2 minutes. So that's what I call competitiveness, and Croatia is full of that. And Luka Modric, we can say that he's old, yes, but the other day he nutmegged 𝐬𝐿𝐴 on his run to goal, and he shot really well. He also produced a really, really, really good a chance for his team. And Poland, on the other hand, it's a little bit the end of Robert Lewandowski. We know about that, and probably they're gonna drop a step or 2 in the European rankings in the future. I think that would be what logic would suggest. Whereas Croatia, yes, they are also a little bit old, especially some key players, but they are a competitive bunch, and they were only 2 minutes behind against Scotland in the scoreline, and they still keep a passing accuracy that is so impressive. They are the second best in passing accuracy in this Nations League. The first ones, I believe, that they are Portugal, surprisingly. So I'm going to say that Croatia is going to dominate this game because they got the passing accuracy and the passing triangles they do are very good. And I'm going to say that they are going to possibly win or draw this game. So the Asian handicap minus 0.25, 189 would be my favorite bet.
Prasadas is going for Croatia double chance and under 3.5 goals. Could be a good option, actually.
Yeah, it's a good one.
0-1, something like this, and you get your bet correct. Croatia looking forward to qualifying for the next round together with Portugal. 3 games, 3 wins, 7 goals scored. So it's gonna be done if Portugal are able to beat Scotland, perhaps still with Cristiano Ronaldo, no matter if we are in 2045, and he will still score goals as he did in Poland for Scotland, even if they took the lead in the last 2 games. They couldn't cope with it. This Portugal, Alvaro, recently they do it better in the Nations League and in the qualifiers than in big tournaments. And also, we are not big fans of Roberto Martinez, also when it comes to important days.
No, but that thing you say can be applicable to Cristiano Ronaldo as well. And I'm sorry, because I know that Cristiano Ronaldo is the kind of footballer that polarizes our fan base, but the truth is that I believe that he is one of the best footballers in football history, but I think that his scoring record sometimes covers a little bit his lack of participation in games, and especially in big games. We saw it at the Euro, but I am so invested on Cristiano Ronaldo for the Nations League that I could back him to score here. I mean, one thing is not incompatible with the other one. I think Cristiano Ronaldo for the big games can be a little bit short, especially of speed and rhythm, but for this kind of games, Cristiano Ronaldo is a scoring guarantee. Him to score 191. The other day, he scored the easiest goal on the planet, but he was there in the second post to score it and to tap in after a terrific run by Rafael 𝐬𝐿𝐽. I think that Portugal is going to win it. I mean, Scotland lost all their 3 games. I know that they can score because they have scored 4 in the Nations League, but I believe that Portugal is better. I spoke about Portugal's passing accuracy, which is good because they can defend themselves with the ball on her feet via possession. And then Portugal is not a team that uses the possession just for the sake of it. I mean, they attack and they create attacking chances. They create chances. In fact, in 3 games in the Nations League, they have produced 60 shots, of which 20 were on target, which is, I would say, that a very good ratio. And on top of that, they've got Ronaldo, who is a very good scorer in this type of games. So Portugal to win 162. Portugal to win and over 1.5 goals in the game, 183. It's a little ACCA. And then if you can top it up with Ronaldo scoring, well, you can make that go to the 3.5 region, which is a very good money already. But yeah, my suggestions will be those. Either Portugal to win, Portugal to score over 1.5 goals in this game, or Ronaldo to score. You can take those shots individually, or you can combine them, and the value is pretty decent.
We saw 2-1 in the reverse fixture for Portugal. How you see it, Ronan?
Yeah, I think I agree with Alvaro. The 2-1 in the reverse fixture was kind of one of those Ronaldo games as well. He was pathetic for large parts of the match, but then he's popped up with 2 minutes to go and wrecked Scotland's dreams. And that's what tends to happen with this Ronaldo. And I think he's the opposite to Mbappe. He will relish turning up against the likes of Luxembourg because it's a chance for him to add some more goals to his tally. He now has 133 international goals and 215 appearances, which is astonishing. And he has 94 goals to go to the 1,000 goals for club and country. So I don't think he's going to give up until he gets there. So I think he could be right, Edu. He could be still here in 2045 trying to get more goals and extend his record tally. So like Alvaro said, it's hard to look past the Ronaldo anytime goal scorer in matches like this because that's what he does. He might necessarily put in a brilliant performance, but when Portugal need a goal and Portugal creates so many chances, Ronaldo will be there to kind of put the ball in the net, whether it's from 2 yards or 20 yards. He'll be there to put the ball in the net. And that's what Ronaldo does. So Portugal win looks good here for me. 1.64 looks good. Portugal to win and over 1.5 goals, like Alvaro said, that's another one that's worth combining, I think. But if you look at Scotland, the way they're playing, they actually start well and then seem to collapse. They don't have the mentality to hold on to these results. We talked about in the last match, their lead only lasted 2 minutes, and it was the same in the reverse fixture here. They were beating Portugal, and then they ended up losing 2-1 to Portugal. So I think this could be another match where Scotland win, but then Portugal end up winning overall. So I think Scotland, they just don't seem like a team that can play full pelt for 90 minutes, and it could be a problem for them. So I like the look of Portugal to win the second half here. That's 1.99. It's obviously a better option than Portugal is winning outright. So yeah, Portugal to win the second half looks good for me here.
Prosadas is going for Portugal to score in both halves. This is risky. I guess the odds are going to be high. William going for Portugal to win. He says he's a banker, or maybe Cristiano to score. And we have also Gersao commenting on Bernardo Silva position with Portugal. Well, let's jump into the last group. We are going to analyze the group of Spain. This is group 4. First game is Spain, Serbia, 7 points for the European champions. They are playing this game in the beautiful city of Cordoba, I must say, in El Arcángel, and but with almost no European champions, because Luis de la Fuente has so many absentees. Even Jamal picked up a small injury. He's going to miss this one, adding up to Rodri, to Carvajal, to Nico Williams. So many important players are not here. They control the game once again against Denmark. And finally, Zubimendi scored the winner. In Serbia, they struggled and they drew, goalless draw. Even Serbia had big chances. Alvaro was saying, I read a tweet, Alvaro, that how difficult it is to beat Spain in Spanish soil. I guess, Ronan, you would agree with our friend Alvaro.
Yeah, I think I would agree with him. From so far in this episode, I think I agree with him on a lot of things today. So yeah, I'm going to agree with him again on this one, because Serbia, they aren't the sharpest tools in the box when it comes to scoring goals. I know Mitrovic has an absolutely outstanding international record, 59 goals and 95 appearances for them, and he's even in better form for club this season, 14 goals and 11 in all competitions. But he's playing for Al Hilal, so it's a bit of a step up to playing against these Spanish defenders than what maybe he's used to at club level. So it could be a tricky one. And Serbia on the road, they haven't been great. They haven't scored in the last 2 away games. And this year in 2024, in 4 of the times that they've played away, they haven't scored at all. So they sometimes can go into these matches and find it hard to score, whereas Spain, they're undefeated at home since March. So we're undefeated in home anyway, I should say, since March. So I think Spain should be favourites. They're considered favourites. It's hard to see Serbia getting anything whatsoever from this one. You nearly have to go to Asian handicap -1.5 to get any value on a Spain win in this match. So you have to look maybe elsewhere for it. And with the way Serbia are playing on the road, and the fact they're finding it so hard to score, and the fact that Spain's defence has been kind of so good so far in this tournament, that restricted Denmark to absolutely nothing in that match. That Denmark never looked like even getting close to the Spain goal. It was only a case of waiting for Spain to get that final kind of goal to give them the 3 points. I think it could be another one of those matches where Spain absolutely dominate, Serbia do nothing. So I think this could be a one to look at. Spain clean sheet, that's 1.85. But even to step up a level from that, Spain to win to 0, I think that's what I'm going to go for here, because I can't see Serbia doing anything whatsoever in this one.
Talking about Mitrovic, which Mitrovic had to stay in a top competition. They could swap with 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐽, for instance, and send 𝐬𝐭𝐽 far away to Saudi Arabia and have Mitrovic scoring goals for Fulham. For instance, Alvaro, again, you were happy seeing Spain winning in their national day, by the way.
Yeah.
Even without shining a lot, but with a good atmosphere, and is very reliable, this team under De La Fuente.
It's unreliable, and I think that Spain doesn't have the urgency to prove a point anymore because they won the Euros. I think that 2024 and possibly 2025 are going to be a couple of years in which we will see many new players earning caps for the Spanish national team. And it makes sense because Spain last summer won the Euros, but they also won the Olympics. And there are many players who won the Olympic Games who deserve at least a chance to play a couple of games to see how good they are. And, the many injuries that Spain has right now is given a chance to a few players who are good, maybe not superstars, but still they understand the system, they understand what Luis de la Fuente wants. And one of the best things that the Spanish FA has done over the last 20, 25 years has been the uniformity of the systems. Spain from the under 16 plays with the same system and with the same philosophy. And that's why so many players who end up earning a cap for Spain, they know the drill, they know what is it about. So they don't look like lost players, with a few exceptions that in the past they just had a cap or two for Spain and they look like they shouldn't be there. Like I'm talking, for example, of 𝐬𝐭𝐴, footballers like this, but not so many. And against Denmark, Spain kept the cardinal points, the grammar that they used during the games, the tactics, everything. And the second half was very good. They adapted against a team like Denmark, who tried to use the width, playing with a 5-3-2 at times or 5-4-1s. And Spain adapted to that. It was difficult to win because it was complicated to do it without your best stars on the pitch. But Spain did it with a goal from Zubimendi. And a few players step up. I think that Zubimendi being one of them, but he already played very well in the Euro finals. David Raya is proving to be a very good goalkeeper. And I think that Grimaldo did a decent job on the left. Porro and 𝐿𝐽𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜𝐭𝐴, I'm not too sure about them. I think that Spain is going to suffer without Carvajal in big games because Porro is nowhere near the quality of Dani Carvajal. And same thing applies for 𝐿𝐽𝐴𝐧𝐽𝐴, the man who scored the winning goal in the Euro final, but he hasn't been playing too well over the last 2 months. And I think that it was very obvious in the game against Denmark the other day. But, I'm going to go for Spain to win the second half, 170. I like that one. Otherwise, a win to near to Spain, something that Ronan suggested, makes a little bit of sense because Spain hasn't conceded in the Nations League when they were playing with 11 men. Only Switzerland was capable of scoring against Spain, but Spain was already reduced to 10 men. So, Spain's defense has been pretty decent so far in the Nations League. I think that Serbia is going to present a very rocky, compact side in the middle with 3 center-backs. Spain will have to look for width, and maybe the likes of Brian Zaragoza can shine in this game if Lamine Yamal is not there. A footballer, Brian Zaragoza, who is very good at dribbling. He proved it against Barcelona 3 weeks ago. But, I think that Spain is going to win it. And when it comes to Spain playing at home, I think that beating them is one of the ultimate challenges in international football. Let me explain why very quickly. Spain has never lost a World Cup qualifier game at home. Never. I think that nobody else has ever done it. And in the Euro qualifiers, Spain has suffered only one defeat in the 21st century at home. It was in 2003 against Greece, which was a little bit premonitory because Greece ended up winning the Euro 2004. Then in the Nations League, the stats are slightly different. Spain has suffered 2 defeats at home, one against Switzerland and the other one against England. But generally speaking, Spain at home in qualifiers is a proper rock. It's very difficult to beat.
Gersau is highlighting also another name, perhaps for the future, Samu Omorodion, doing great things for Porto. I know you like him, playing for Alaves last season. Cheap sell for Atlético de Madrid, probably. Very happy Porto supporters because he has started the season pretty well. Eric is going for Serbia +3. I guess he shouldn't pay that match. Andrijos, Spain, Asian handicap minus 1.5. He thinks Spain will destroy Serbia, and Eric also Spain home or draw. That should pay very, very little because Spain are big favorites for this game. And in this group, we also have Switzerland, Denmark. Probably Denmark will qualify for the next round, and Switzerland probably will get relegated because Switzerland was one of the teams that we like the most in the Euros. And remember, they beat Italy in the last 16. But now they've lost all the games in this Nations League, even at home against Spain, playing against 10 men. They were thrashed 4-1, and they lost to Serbia 2-0. They lost to Denmark 2-0. Still, Alvaro, we have great odds if we back Denmark. There is always this kind of question mark with Denmark when they play away. Though at home they are very reliable, but away is more difficult.
Yeah, I think Denmark is right now better, and they played decently against Spain, even though Spain dominated the second half, as I said in the previous, in my analysis of the previous game. But this could be one of these both these two core games. I think that over 2 goals is very good. Over 2 goals, 176 is something that I would like to highlight here, because Switzerland obviously has to attack, because otherwise they'll be out from the. They will be relegated to the League B, and obviously they will try to avoid that. And Denmark, they know how to do it. They scored 2 goals against Switzerland in the first game to start with. Then they scored 2 goals against Serbia. I believe that attacking Denmark can be decent as well. They are not a side that scores a lot of goals, but when they choose to go forward with a few players, normally they manage to get it and to get what they want. So over 2 goals, 176 is something that I like. Then very quickly goes about Switzerland. Maybe they could have put a little bit of makeup over the result against Serbia if Embolo hadn't missed that penalty. But on the other hand, Serbia looked better and stronger in the set pieces as well. And I didn't like at all the way they defended Mitrovic in his goal. I think that they were too complacent. They thought that Mitrovic was never going to score that goal because he's not this type of player who starts on the left and then does the diagonal run and scores, but he did it. And I think that the Swiss defense was a little bit complacent. And Switzerland has been very good over the last years because they were always playing 100%, and they were probably achieving a 10 or 15% more than expected from them. But if they loosen a little bit, they are going to be another side. So they have to refocus. But still, I think that this game is going to be an over. So I'm going to go for an over 2 goals, 176. Otherwise, the cards market can be interesting. Not for me personally, but I feel compelled to highlight it. Switzerland has suffered or produced 10 yellows and 2 reds in this Nations League alone, and Denmark has produced 10 yellows. So if you put that together, you will realize that these sides are very bookable. So maybe going for over 4.5 cards in the game can be something clever to do.
Well, the Nations League is not important, but in March 2025, we start the World Cup qualifiers in Europe, Ronan, and Switzerland must wake up.
They definitely must wake up because they're one of only 3 teams to have 0 points in Ligue 1, and the other 2 are Israel and Scotland. So I think they would consider themselves to be a step above those teams, but they're not really showing it. They've only scored once so far in this campaign, and that was in a 4-1 defeat. So, this Switzerland is not the Switzerland team that we are used to seeing, and it's hard to see any superstars in this one. And I'm going to disagree with Alvaro for the first time today. I don't think this is going to be a match with lots of goals. I just can't see it. I don't know where the goals are coming from because Switzerland can't score goals. Denmark don't tend to concede goals. They've only conceded 1 goal so far in this campaign. So this is a match that is screaming to me, don't watch it. Just tune into something else. I'm not that interested in it. Maybe the cards market could be the way to go. Maybe that's it. It might be one of these meaty matches, like St. Martin in our comments is saying that 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 could get a red card I know he has this kind of personality, or there's a kind of a narrative around him that he's always getting sent off, and I think people will remember him stripping the armband off him for Arsenal and giving the fingers to the fans and getting annoyed with the fans before. But for Leverkusen, he hasn't been the same sort of player, so I'm not sure that's the best one to bet on. Maybe to commit a foul or to get a yellow card, but I'm not sure. He's definitely going to get a red card. But yeah, I think there's definitely going to be more cards than goals in this match. I don't think it's going to be a huge high-scoring match. If you look at the 2-0 win earlier in the group, it was 0-0 until the 82nd minute in Copenhagen. So this one does not scream a big high-scoring match for me. I think it could be a draw, 3.37 if you look at the draw. Denmark Asian handicap plus a quarter could be another option here, but I just don't think there's going to be lots of goals, and definitely not any goals in the first half, I don't think. So half-time draw is what I'm going for here. I'm just expecting a snooze fest in this one.
Okay, tune a movie or the game Spain-Serbia or something else, according to Ronan. Well, as I said, the World Cup qualifiers in Europe start next year, 2025, but we still have the 𝐿𝐭𝐴 qualifiers in South America, and today you can check the new video with 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜 in our channel analyzing all 5 games, and perhaps also can help you with the tipster competitions. There you go. Now is the World Cup qualifiers. This one, the 𝐿𝐭𝐴, we've analyzed all 5 games, and you can participate in our monthly tipster competition or yearly, or also in our Premier League. This week we will have a video with Tom Rennie analyzing the Premier League or the NFL. So there are so many different tipster competitions where you can challenge yourself and win cash prize. Always very good. Let's finish the video with your safe bet, Ronan.
Yeah, my safe bet is Spain to win.
Okay. I guess Alvaro would agree with you.
Yes, this time, despite all the absences, I'm going to go for Spain to win the second half, 168.
And the ACCA, Alvaro?
Well, I'm going to include Romania here. I don't know if I will regret it or not, but let's go. Spain to win the second half, Asian handicap minus 1.25 for Italy against Israel, Portugal to win, and Romania to win. Altogether 6.26.
Romania playing in Lithuania. Andrios is going for a safe bet for Ukraine. Double chance in this case. Ronan, your ACCA?
Yeah, it's not as high as Alvaro's, but I got for France, Asian handicap 0, and Germany and Spain both to win. And that is not 6.26, it's 4.55. I think those are Alvaro's 6.26. I wish it was that generous, but not quite.
I wish there was that coincidence.
Well, still both are quite high, to be honest. Very difficult, this Nations League to predict with so many changes and so many players thinking in their clubs. Well, thank you, Ronan. Alvaro, of course, stay tuned to our channel. We are back this week with so many videos now with Ronan's Bundesliga, with Alvaro's La Liga, and so on. Thank you, guys. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Let's go. Bye-bye.